Meeting is being conducted in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. This meeting has been provided by advertisement in the Cape May Star and Wave on the Township website and has been posted on the bulletin boards of Township Hall.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence. And when we finish, I would wish that you would remain standing. Dr. Gates of the Seashore Community Church of the Nazarene will come up and do a little bit of a prayer service here for us, and we certainly can use that. So, I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Shall we pray? Our Lord and our God, we thank you for the opportunity of gathering together once again at the start of a brand new year, Lord, looking forward to good things. There's a lot of items on the agenda, but Lord, we want to start off by praying for our mayor and our councilmen, our municipal personnel, Lord God, all the folks that make our lives so much better by their service. We ask that you be with our police department and our fire department, our rescue group, Lord God. We just simply are looking forward to a good year this year. We need your guidance, we need your wisdom, and we look for that. Now we ask that your blessing might remain upon not only this meeting, but our councilmen all year long. Give them wisdom and direction. We'll give you the praise for your leadership. In Jesus' name we ask it. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Doctor. Appreciate your coming out here, Doctor. And you truly are a good friend, and I'm sure council feels as I do that we go nowhere without help from above. I mean, you know, the direction that we need can only come through prayer, and we ask all of our residents to pray for us, so we thank you. Okay, first item on the agenda before we go anywhere in the work session, Mr. Crowley. Oh, wait, first item is roll call. That would help.
Right. Here. Councilmember Neville.
Here.
Councilmember Simonson.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Clark.
Here.
Mayor Beck.
Here. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, Mr. Crowley, another good friend, is here to give us an update on the school issue. I think that our report has been given to council, and I think he's here to just talk about that briefly, and it speaks for itself. And Mr. Crowley, would you please step forward and take the microphone and give us maybe a little update and some of the conclusions?
Yes, good evening. First of all, I'd like to wish everyone a Happy New Year, and personally for the opportunity to work with the mayor and the council and the officials here in Lower Township in the preparation of this report, which is pretty much finalized. There's some odds and ends, some typos still have to be done, some syntax, but the gist of it remains the same. And basically, just a couple items to highlight. When we looked at the population throughout the municipalities within the regional district, that has declined in the past 10 years. But not as greatly as the student population has declined. That's about 11% decline in the student population here in the regional districts, the three towns that constitute the district. And what that means is that obviously that as your student population declines, the individual boards of education have to utilize their resources much more carefully to still provide the same quality education that they have done over the past many years. And my report, my section of the report is the response to the Cape May study. Really does not get into the financial aspects. That's handled by gentleman Mel Wines. And if I could indicate that he has probably the best reputation within the state of New Jersey for the financial aspects of any school budget issue or potential for problems within the budget. And Mel worked with the Department of Education and Trend for many years in the finance division, and is really the most knowledgeable person that I'm aware of within the state. So the council made a wise selection in asking him to come down and look at the detailed finance. However, my report, while it's not a financial report, it has to deal with some of the finances within that, because finances obviously are the driving engine for the educational program that can be offered within the schools, and notwithstanding the limitations that are imposed by the state in terms of regulations, that still is the most critical piece that a board is faced with in making the determination of what they can offer, what programs they can offer, both curricular and co-curricular. And within a regional district, the district only really has one tax levy. That's the amount of money that comes from the local population to support the schools. That's also supplemented with state aid that comes from the state and some federal aids and so on. But they only have one tax levy, one amount of taxes to be raised, and that's a portion among the regional constituents. That's the municipalities within the region. What that means is that if the amount of money coming in from one municipality decreases, that obviously causes an increase because there's still just one tax levy. So some other municipality would have to pay more. And within the Cape May study, they identified the fact that in any of the four alternatives that they chose, that impact would fall directly on Lower Township, the municipality of Lower Township, or in several cases Lower Township and West Cape May, depending on what of the four alternatives that were identified. And that's not an insignificant number. It's upwards of $5 million that would have to be made up by other municipalities or other municipality, which would be Lower Township. What that translates, and when we looked and how that would impact upon the educational program that could be offered within the region, we took a middle ground and said, take that $5 million and let's say that the Board of Education, when faced with that dilemma that said we can't raise taxes $5 million on the remaining municipalities, but we have to raise them half of that amount, so $2.5 million. And $2.5 million loss would translate, as we looked at the educational program offering, to perhaps as many as 35 to 45 positions. That doesn't mean just teachers, it doesn't mean just administrators, they're positions to make up for that loss. So if you took half of what the potential tax increase would be, and that was absorbed by the citizens of Lower Township and or West Cape May, that would still be a significant increase of about that same $2.5 to $3 million, while at the same time reducing the programs you could offer by that amount. And what that would mean is that the regional district would not, we don't believe, would not be able to continue to offer the kind of programs and activities that they currently offer. And what basically it would come down to with that reduction in half, and we're only dealing with half of the total amount, what that reduction would come down to is basically eliminating a great deal of their elective programs, elective courses, activities in the co-curricular area that they simply could not afford to do. And with that middle ground that we've chosen, not the extreme on one hand and say we're going to take everything away, and not the other extreme where it says we're going to continue to offer everything we offer and just pass that cost on to the residents of the communities. Just that middle ground piece, that they would only be able to offer basically the minimum courses at best. And the impact of that obviously on the students, which is the primary concern, is that they would not be able to get an education that would prepare them to compete in college or in a job area or in the military or whatever their post-secondary education would be. And basically that is truly a disservice to the students of the community. The other ancillary impact obviously is on the communities themselves, because every community is known for the school system that they offer. That's why people want to live in a town or a regional district. That's what attracts them, that's what keeps home values high, all of those other aspects. That would severely impact those as well, because if an individual wants to move into a community and learn that basically they only offer English, math, science, social studies, and maybe a language, phys ed, with no other opportunities for any of the other courses that are offered here at the regional, that I think would weigh in the decision not to come into this community and to go somewhere else. And that is, from a purely personal point of view, I think that's devastating to the community, it's devastating to the school system, and most importantly, it's devastating to the students that you serve. So that is the overview. I'll be glad to respond to any questions. I think, as I indicated, and I want to say this a second time, there's still going to be some typos that have to be fixed, and there's going to be some syntax that has to be corrected. But that's basically, so our recommendations are, when this report is filed with the Executive County Superintendent of Schools here in Cape May County, our recommendations are to reject all of those because of the extreme negative impact that it would have on every aspect of not only the school system, but on the remaining towns within the region. And secondly, the other recommendation is that the towns and/or the boards of education should begin to have discussions to consider a K through 12 regional district. Not the limited purpose, not the 7 through 12 that exists right now, but join together, utilizing the resources and provide a K through 12, pre-K through 12 regional school district, which would be much more cost efficient in the long run because there would not be duplication in certain areas, and would also provide, very importantly within the curriculum, a continuity that would exist from the youngsters coming in at 5 years old all the way through the 18 or 19-year-olds that graduate from high school. So the continuity of curriculum, I think, is the largest benefit that would occur. So those are the two recommendations that we came back after we reviewed all of the historical data, all of the population data, and also the Cape May report. And I have to say this, that the Cape May report did address all of the areas which are required to be addressed by the Department of Education, which is the curriculum, which is the financial implications, and also the racial balance. Actually, the only item that we agree with is that there really would be no negative impact on the racial balance of any of the schools, if indeed any of those alternatives would be approved. We disagree on the financial impact as indicated in Mr. Wine's report, and I disagree vehemently on the curricular aspect because I think it would be devastating. So that's the overview of our information. I'll be glad to answer any questions if I know the answer.
Well, first, I want to say thanks. I mean, I know the extent to which you put your time and effort into this, and we've been in communication throughout the length of this, and there's a couple other people that we owe thank yous to, which I think you mentioned their name in the report.
Correct, yes.
But that all being said, I just, I'm grateful for your stepping up to help us, and also for Mr. Wine's report also. I think you can sift through, and council, feel free to jump in here, but your report's like 30-some pages, and Mr. Wine's is 40 pages of numbers, and it's like, you have to be kidding. I'd be there a long time trying to go through that. But when you get to the very end and to the conclusions, and your conclusions are similar, it would be a disaster. It would be an epic disaster for the school and the community at large if they were either to withdraw or dissolve. It's not, it goes against what the legislature has dictated. They deem what currently exists as fair and the way it should be. And there's absolutely no reason that we should be in this at this point. And again, it's money that we could take out front and set on fire and get more enjoyment out of it, watching it burn rather than just seeing numbers flow out of here in tax money. But we said in the beginning we'd be here for the long haul, and these reports help to prove that. And they're just exactly that is our return fire, and we'll match them as we move through the system. I believe the report has to be up, and I guess Mr. Campbell,
January 15th is the deadline.
it has to be filed. I guess Mr. Campbell will take it.
He will be filing.
He will be filing them. So, I think you've done an excellent job. I'd like counsel if you have any questions or comments.
I read it, went over, actually just talked to you about the recommendations. It makes sense. It's our defense. It's what we've been saying all along. Why they would want to get out of it, it's their kids too.
Sure, so on Kay Main's point, and I really appreciate the work you did there.
I appreciate it.
Bert, do you have anything?
Terry, when this report's submitted to Cape May County Education Superintendent Stapora, are you going to have, is there any exchange that goes between you two? Do you explain anything? Does he call you in for any questions for elaboration on the report? How does that?
Norris, I'm not sure exactly what procedure Dr. Stapora is going to follow. My My understanding in the past has been the reports are filed. If there's additional questions for clarity or for other substantiated, then that request would go to both parties with the filing on that. At some point in time, I'm sure Trenton would get involved with that. So once it's filed with him, then he has, I believe, 30 days or 45 days to make a recommendation. So within that period of time, obviously he has the opportunity, if he so chooses, to request some additional information. But I don't believe at this stage there would be any kind of hearing or testimony or any at this stage. Somewhere down the road, I'm sure there would be.
Thank you. I would read, like, your conclusions and Mr. Wines are remarkably similar. And at one point you say, the alternatives proposed in the Cape May study are designed solely to decrease the tax liability of the residents of Cape May City. Mr. Wines says, in my opinion, there are no educational reasons why any of the constituent municipalities of the Lower Cape May Regional School District should withdraw from the regional school district or the Lower Cape May Regional School District should be dissolved. The motivation for Cape May City to pursue its planned escape from the Lower Cape May Regional School District is purely to avoid paying its fair share of the operational and bonding obligations of the regional school district based on the equalized value of the taxable property in the city of Cape May. This type of motivation for withdrawal from a regional school district was directly criticized by the Commissioner of Education in a case brought by the borough of Oradell as a constituent of the Riverdale Regional School District. I mean, it kind of speaks for itself, and the reports are lengthy, and I recommend especially our newspaper people that they get a chance to look at them and go through them, and we'll have them available. Certainly, they just some of the reports, the final copies came today, so we'll make sure you have those before you go. Okay, is there any questions from the public in reference to these reports? Okay, council.
I either did a good job explaining it or they're bored. One of those two.
You did a great job. We'll be in touch.
Okay.
We thank you for your efforts.
No
We
problem.
wish you a happy new year.
Yep.
And it's nice to have you on our team.
No problem at all.
You're certainly, we're well worth what we spent. And, your background in education certainly gives us a lot of credibility in the report. And we thank you.
Thank you very much once again for the opportunity. Appreciate it. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Okay.
The most important question of the night, am I excused?
Yes, you are,
Okay.
temporarily. You'll be called back, don't worry, we'll be getting you. Okay. I would like to take note that our judges here tonight, Tom Hilligas, you can wave to fine people, and want to recognize a famous person in the audience here. Okay, we move down to the consent agenda. Oh, go ahead. Joyce Gold's here in the back. Oh, there you go. And Alan. Okay. Thank you for coming to visit us this evening. And any other famous people out there besides Frank Sirocco? Thank you.
Famous, aren't we?
Yeah, you are. You are. You're all special, and we appreciate that. We move down to the consent agenda. Any council comments or questions on the consent agenda?
I'd like to point out Resolution 2014-18. It's our annual contribution to volunteers in medicine. It's a very important service in this county. If you see the numbers of township residents that are using this, our contribution some people may be a lot. In reality, it's kind of small, but unfortunately, it's all we can afford. But we have a large percentage of people from the villas, which is my area. 13.32% of the patient demographics that visit VIM are from the villas. We got North Cape May has 8.5% of their demographics. Irma 1.75. There's some other little areas broken down, but it's a much needed service, and I'm glad we could do something for our residents. and Volunteers in Medicine do a wonderful job. We have volunteers from Lower that go there to help also.
Very good. I'm good.
I'd like to see a couple things. Resolution 2014-17, put on the regular agenda. For obvious
40
reasons.
as well?
Sure.
2014-40?
Yes.
I apologize.
Sorry. Also would ask that 2014-25 and 36 maybe be tabled for the next meeting. I wasn't aware of, there's been no discussion on either. You know, that's my opinion. I'd like to have some discussion regarding those two before I vote on it.
Well, which one was it, 25?
25 and 36.
It's the public information and animal control. Well, I know that the public information, this is the second year that we've had him.
Right.
I'm not sure exactly where we're headed, and as far as 36 goes, if Mike gives us some explanation, would that satisfy you, or do you want to make a motion to move them off of there completely, or what do you want to do?
I'd like to move them off and
All right.
you know, I'm not, like I said, I'm not, you know, I just would like to discuss it amongst all of us.
Well, is there a second to move those?
I'll second to move 25 at this time.
Okay, we'll
36, I think we discussion, and
Okay,
if Mike can't explain it, then I'll
all right.
agree.
Then okay, so 36, we'll get the explanation from Mike in a minute, but let's, 25.
Motion to table 2014-25.
Yeah, there's a motion after it's been seconded.
Okay. Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Excuse me, this is just a table 25?
Yes.
No.
Councilmember Simonson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
No.
Mayor Beck?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so do you want, Mike, can you talk about 36?
Yeah, I believe that Councilman Simonson, I understand where he's coming from, because the Animal Control Service was discussed in closed session prior to Eric coming back on council. I guess when Glenn Douglas there was talked about issues, the police department talked about issues and challenges. We were having a problem with the service and some of the staff there. And Dr. Nick Holland is here tonight. If any of the council, I asked him to come here, has any questions about the Animal Control Service, how it would work, the things that he's going to do, which is exceptional. And I'll briefly go over it real quick. We did an analysis, the police department and the clerk and the finance office, on our cost. And this is really for be more effective, cost efficient, or cost effectiveness, economics. Just the one employee full-time that we had doing this service, that's a public work employee, but full-time employed here, is at just under $50,000, which this privatized animal control service would cover. The other things that the police department brought forward was the stipend that we'd give these 3 full-time employees on top of their daily public works jobs, which is another about $24,000. We have a couple vehicles with high mileage that we're going to have to replace real soon. We wouldn't have to do that with this privatization. Just to date, January through August, when they presented this report to me, we've spent 2,163 gallons of gasoline, so you know what that costs today for that service. Plus the tires, the brakes, the general maintenance, the breakdowns, the cell phones, yada, yada, yada. Dr. Holland is here, and I asked him here tonight because I'm glad you brought it up, Councilman, so that the public and council could have any and all questions answered. As your manager, I think this is best for the economy that we have, the budget that we have, that you want to keep it. I know you guys want to keep the budget in place and cut where we can. We're not cutting jobs. The 3 people that do the part-time animal control are not losing their jobs. They have full-time jobs with our Public Works Department. The van, the service, the doctor can present and explain to everybody here that we'll be here, parked here in our parking lot out front, and they'll be giving us immediate service. It's in the contract of the RFP that went out. And I just think it's the right move. As the manager, I highly recommend this. And as again, none of our people are losing their jobs.
Well, Mike, so basically we're still paying 3 people, but we're paying another $50,000 on top of it.
Now, the one employee, as I said, the full-time that was there every day, his salary is a little under $50,000 right now. The efficiencies are going to kick in, not with the salaries immediately because the stipends were taken away, which is, like I said, about half of that, about $25,000. It's not buying the new automobiles. It's not continue to pay for the gas. It's not continued the management of it. I moved it to the police department about 18 months ago, I guess, so there was some structure and control of the animal control because, quite frankly, people were so comfortable in this town, they had their personal cell phone numbers of the animal control officers. They were calling them day and night, and they were responding. Well, that's your tax dollars. That's your gasoline. There was animal control out, I seen 11, 12, 2 o'clock in the morning. No accountability. It's structured. The police department structured it, and after dealing with it for the last year and a half, it was recommended that we look at this. Other towns have looked at the privatization. This outfit, Dr. Holland's outfit, has other municipalities that strongly recommend the service. They have neighboring communities right now that are doing the animal control for in West Cape May Point, some other towns. Middle Township used to provide animal service part-time for several communities. And I'm not sure if I have them all right, but it's Seattle, Avalon, Stone Harbor, West Wildwood maybe, Cape May Point. And now Middle Township did away with it, and their one animal control officer is just going to handle Middle Township. These other towns now are looking for services like Dr. Holland's to provide that service that Middle used to provide. So the timing is right. I feel comfortable. The contract that's been put together by Margaret and ratified, but looked over by our solicitor, everything is in place. We have a clause to get out if things aren't working. We have 90-day clause, I believe it is, that we can go back to what we currently have. I don't plan on selling the current trucks that we have for animal control, just in case it doesn't work out. But I can assure you, and I think Dr. Holland is here tonight to answer any questions, because we have, in this community, provided excellent animal control, but we have to keep it structured, we have to keep the cost down, and like some of our people said, our people are spoiled. And we all love our animals. God knows I just lost my dog last week, I had to put him down. And the council has animals, and they care about them. We care about the cats, we care about the dogs, and we care about the abused animals. And this gentleman here in his service will provide that, and provide more than just that. They'll provide the survey that we haven't been doing over the years that the county, the state requires us to do. Some of the other areas, of course, in their service, they'll maintain proper licensing and the certifications that they need from the state of New Jersey. They're going to maintain regular inspection patrols throughout the municipality. They're going to pick up the impound animals, cats that are running at large in the community. They'll maintain availability and easy access with an 800 number where they're not just calling and it's an answering machine. They'll have a live body respond and answer the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They'll pick up and dispose any wildlife roadkill like dogs killed on the highway that some people have called my office complaining that when's Public Works going to pick it up, when's the county going to pick it up. That'll be part of their service. As I talk about the regular patrols on a daily basis, they're going to give us a monthly report on all the activity. They're going to continue to promote and work with trap, neuter, release program. That's a big interest with our cat community in this town. They're going to go to court on our behalf when there's a summons has to be issued, when there's violations that are for animal abuse or whatever it may be. And there's, believe it or not, a lot of that. People leave animals out that are shortchanged in this kind of weather, and they don't have the proper bowls for their food and their water. They're gonna make sure they take care of that. That's a concern of this council. It's a concern of mine. They'll all be properly uniformed. The van will be identified as the animal control officers. They'll be identified with their uniforms and ID cards, and they'll carry the State Department of Health identification cards. They're all certified. They'll do the animal control census, as I talked about earlier, that we've been in violation of, that hasn't been done for years. They'll maintain a liability insurance of $1 million to protect the township when it deals with the animals, and they'll report all and work with cruelty cases with the New Jersey Society for the Prevention of Cruelty of Animals. And they're going to assist and work with us to continue the rabies program that we do annually here. They're going to work along with another area that I've asked them, and that was when we had hurricanes come through, and we had last minute, and Eric, I think you were on council back then, when we had to use the airport hangar to put animals in, during a hurricane. They're going to work on that to set up a plan so that, God forbid, we have a major storm come through here again. People have a place to take their animals and their loved animals, their dogs, their cats, be with them and help feed them and take care of them until we get through this emergency. So I am very comfortable, and I can't recommend them any higher than all the investigation we've done, the reports from the police department, the reports from the finance office on what it cost us. So I'd ask the council, and I'd ask Eric if there's any questions. Dr. Holland, if you make a presentation, maybe we can get the questions answered tonight. If not, the council then may want to continue to just hold off. But I just wanted to bring it.
Well, again, my concern is, the 3 individuals that perform those tasks are still hired by the township, and now we're adding another 50,000. That was my concern. And we do have the vehicles already.
Well, they were drawing a stipend.
Yes.
Was one thing, so that goes away. Then there's the money saved from the administrative costs. It's not actually what you have, and Gary could probably explain it, but I'll give it a try. The one guy who was full-time was actually assigned to Public Works, correct, Gary? Right. And that was a hole in his workforce, correct? Right. Okay, so what we now will be able to restore him to the numbers he was, that he needs, and we will not lose anybody as far as that goes.
Right.
Okay, so.
And again, I'd like to see the reports from the police. I mean, I'm not, I just, before I vote on something, I like to do my own work and research. I got what's on what we received with the agenda packet.
Okay.
But I'd like to see the reports. But if not, I mean, we could take it, put it on the regular agenda, I guess.
Okay.
And I think that's part of the problem, is not all council was kept up to date of what was happening with this, because I was surprised to find it on the agenda also, but I did have a chance to talk to the doctor, and some of the financial sides of this were explained to me. But yeah, that's where the communication has to be there.
We'll move it down to the regular agenda.
So 2014-17, 2014-40, and 2014-36 will all be on the regular agenda.
Okay. Is there any other council questions in relationship to these? Open up the public questions. Yes, sir.
I'm Pedoli from the Villas. I have concerns about the animals. The only thing is, like the manager said, we're spoiled. And my question will be, are we still going to be spoiled in a way that if we need someone 24/7, they're that close to take care of the problems or concerns?
It's written into the contract.
Okay.
They have to fulfill that.
And I'm listening to how we're talking about we're going to try to save money, this and that. I have a major concern over this 2014-25, and that's giving this gentleman $18,000 a year to do basically what the newspapers do, free of charge. We keep bringing it up. We started at $7,500 for 6 months, and then they wanted the MUA to cover it, but we didn't do that because we want to save ratepayers' tax dollars. And now we went from $7,500 for 6 months to $18,000 for 1 year, which is $1,200 a month. Are we really saving money doing all this?
I think that you have to take a look at the overall picture. First of all, I'm going to say there's nobody that I've seen that earns his money more than the guy that we have in there now, public information officer. the number of articles that have been written, the information that has been generated that wasn't getting out to our taxpayer is immense. And this day and age, with the way communication is, no offense to the newspapers, but when you went back 10, 15 years ago and when you were on council, I mean, there was a lot more about what was going on in Lower Township, a lot more articles, a lot more in-depth information was being given to our people. And now even with, I think today we were talking about the Facebook page that we started here, that the hits that are on there and the information that getting out there, it's a small price to pay. All the major towns have it, Tom. They have the public information.
Well, I'm gonna keep an eye on the budget as well. When I think you're gonna
That's
save dollars, I don't think this is the way to go.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other questions? Yes, sir. Judge.
John Skronsky, 607 Arctic Avenue. 2014-18, approval for the annual contribution to VIN. VIN does a great job, I have no problem with that. How does Obamacare fit in now that, as of January 1, supposedly everybody has insurance under Obamacare? Does that fit in anywhere?
I think that that's something you probably would have to ask them. And Tom, I think that, number one, not everybody has it, and some people got plans that basically are so skeleton that it doesn't provide some of the things, for some of the things that maybe these people need. I mean, the contribution, it's $1's a lot of money if we're giving it to somebody, but I mean, when you're looking at the face value here for, our contribution is what, $7,000?
Right.
For 7,700 for 23,000 people. And I mean, people that have health care, they're lucky people. And we have a number of people that do not. And I get that Obamacare is supposed to fill some of these gaps, and maybe it will down the line, but there's still a lot of gaps.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank
Is
you.
there anybody else? Close the public portion.
Okay. For the consent agenda, we're going to do the approval of the minutes from December 16th. Resolution 2014-01 through 2014-16, 2014-18 through 2014-35, and 2014-37, 38, and 39.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
Okay, quick question. Did Eric want to move the public information to the
Oh, I don't know.
regular, or?
That was
Already
defeated.
voted on it.
That was
That
just
was defeated.
Okay.
And if I may clarify something real quick, I agree with you, Mayor, that Mr. Fichter has done a good job. I mean, I think it's a worthwhile position. When I saw the agenda and saw the 18,000 kind of popped out at me when we had we just had a spending freeze in all the departments. So I mean, he makes more than you apparently. So, and I know
Everybody makes more.
So, again, I don't have a problem with the job that Jack has done. I just, those numbers seem high to me, but regardless, it's been voted on, so.
Motion approved?
Motion approved.
Okay. Second? Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Now we'll go back to resolution number 2014-17, a resolution to defer the regional school tax. This is an annual resolution.
Okay, do I have any council comments?
No.
All right, do I have any comments from the public? Close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
I'm saying,
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Resolution 2014-36. It's the RFP, Acceptance and Contract Award for the Township of Lower Animal Control Services. RFP number 2013-25, Shore Animal Control Services, $50,000 for 2014.
All right, council comments? We've already discussed it. Comments from the public on this resolution? Yes, sir.
Yeah, Bill Greenfield, Billis. As far as barking animals, who's going to cover that now? Will that be police or?
The routine calls, once we change things over to the police department, excuse me, it's another area that we cut back on, where they were responding to barking dogs, dog running loose, and it was put over to the police department that were on patrol to deal with people that have a barking dog. There was no need to call out animal control services. There's no need to call out animal control when a dog may be running loose, when the police on patrol can take care of that. So there were some of the cutbacks we made when we put it over to the police department.
Okay. I was just wondering, because just from my own personal experience, I had a problem with a dog in the neighborhood barking, and sometimes animal control would actually educate the people a little bit. Well, you know, you need to exercise the dog some, or, you know, so I guess we're going to be losing, you know, I don't know.
But you won't lose that.
So we'll be, I mean, they would talk to the people, say, well, maybe if you did this, this, and that, then the dog wouldn't be barking as much. So.
Well, maybe if people would care about their animals
Right.
like most of us do, they wouldn't be barking if they were attended to them and dealing with them.
I don't know.
And leaving them
Police
unattended.
officers would have that, I mean.
They have the authority, you know, there's
Or
local
Or
ordinances.
they could advise the people like the animal control officers did.
Right.
Okay, thanks.
Any other?
Brian McEwing, Town Bank Road. I just have a couple of questions about the animal control. The $50,000, that's 1 year. Is there any cap on increases for future years, out years? And what is the cap?
I think it's
The second year goes to $51,020, I believe.
No, 51,000, and the third year is $51,020.
and that has to, the following years have to be voted on.
Okay, I just
We
want-
have an out after a year.
Yes.
That doesn't work out.
Okay, and I heard that there are some stipends that are going away that may recapture approximately half of this cost. But I didn't hear anything else that's going to be saved by doing this. Where's the other $26,000 coming from?
Well, the savings in those areas, as I touched down, Brian, would be in not replacing the vehicles, which have high mileage on, not all the other areas, the gasoline that we're putting out, they keep putting on new tires, a new muffler, all the other auxiliary expenses will be gone. The immediate savings, as Councilman Simonson brought out, will not be with the salary. The stipends will take half of that, the $50,000 for the service, but it will be in the capital. All the vehicles, as you know what they cost, pickup trucks, you know probably better than I, $25,000, $30,000 each. The four-wheel drives, they eat up a lot of gas. I believe it's going to be more structured. And as I said, Brian, that there is an out. In 90 days from now, if council, manager, everybody involved here doesn't feel comfortable that we're getting the service that the people of this community deserve, we can get out of this agreement.
Okay, yeah, I mean, there's two sides of the service
Yes,
side, and then there's the cost side.
Yes?
So my question was more towards the cost side,
Yeah.
obviously the service.
The cost side, and as the mayor brought out, Mr. Montgomery, who's done an excellent job with animal control and was assigned full-time, he will now fill a hole of Public Works. He'll be back there full-time working as a full-time Public Works employee.
Okay. But somebody do a spreadsheet that says, 5 years, this is what we're going to save because we're not buying trucks, this is what we're saving in fuel, those kinds of things, and what is that number? What's the savings? If there is savings to the...
There definitely is savings. I don't have a 5-year spreadsheet in front of me, Brian, but there's definitely savings, and it's in the capital, and it's in the cost of the employment of the service.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else? You want to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, when the manager brought up the subject of Dr. Holland, I did a little research, checked with the folks in Animal Alliance and other, as you call them, the cat community. He comes highly recommended and is well respected. I also had an occasion to meet with the director of the New Jersey Veterinary Medical Association, and you also have a very good reputation with the folks up there. So everyone we've checked with has come back and said that he is a man and has a great reputation.
Thank you. Okay, close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Got it?
Councilmember Conrad?
With the 90-day out, I'll go yes at this time. I don't have a choice, yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
Just at this time, like I said, I'd like to see the reports that the other councilmen have obviously got to see. And I don't doubt the doctor's reputation at all. I would like to see the police reports, et cetera. So at this time, no.
Yes. Oh, I need to-
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck? Resolution number 2014-40. This is a resolution accepting the response to the Cape May study to reconfigure the Lower Cape May Regional School District prepared by Terrence J. Crowley and the response prepared by Wines Consulting LLC.
Okay. Council, we've discussed this earlier. You okay with this? Is there any public questions? Okay, close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
Abstain.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Resolution number 2014-41 on the regular agenda. Designation of Lower Township Rescue.
Okay. Do I have any council questions or comments? Move it to the public. Comments or questions on this resolution? Close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Abstain.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes. Move down to administrative reports. We go to council comments. Councilman Conrad?
I wish everyone a happy new year. I want to thank Don for all the great work he's done in the past. Don Montgomery, our animal control officers in the back. I want to warn people, even though it's going to be a little short notice, tonight's going to get bitterly cold. Please watch your neighbors. It's going to be this way for a couple till at least Wednesday. We're going to drop to sub-zero wind chill possibly. Be real careful. And council, I think, has to work with communication a little bit to get some things going on. Other than that,
I too wish Happy New Year to everyone, and one can hope that in 14, the people in Cape May can see their senses that they don't want to destroy the school system, because the devastation that could happen if they reduce all the extracurricular activities, co-curricular activities, all the ancillary things that are over there, the arts, cooking, the wood shop, would not be a good thing for this community. That's all I have.
Thank you. All right.
Also, just Happy New Year to everybody, and look forward to a prosperous 2014 for Lower Township, and wish council the same. That's it.
Thank you.
Well, by my count, I've been on council for 371 days. I may not be the youngest person on council, but I am the youngest in days on council. So everyone has asked me this year, how does it feel? And I always say the same thing. It feels great being with a team that's putting the interests of our town first. And secondly, it feels great to serve, because that's very satisfying being in public service. We promised that we would, a year ago, focus on some things, make some priorities, and we are intending to keep the priorities. The first thing we said was to be smart with our money, spend it wisely. The second thing is we were going to fan the flame of economic development in Lower Township, and we're going to be continuing with that, and you're going to be hearing about some plans for development at the airport, as well as many other suggestions coming out of the Economic Development Committee. We talked about public safety. That's going to continue to be a priority for us, especially as we look for ways to chase anyone that's selling heroin in our community to our kids out of this township. And then finally, I just wanted to say thank you and Happy New Year for the opportunity to serve the township and the taxpayers.
Well, thank you. Happy New Year, as we all agree on that. Announcements. This one's going to get you guys all excited now. All updated property assessments will be available on the township website next week. Please log on to www.townshipoflower.org and click on the tax assessor page under departments. That is the updated property assessments. The tax man cometh. That'll be next week. Myself, Deputy Mayor Norris, and Manager Mike, we went over to the Cold Spring Presbyterian Church yesterday for their morning service, and it was outstanding. Very nice people. It was their 300th anniversary of their congregation, and as we have with the Seashore Church of the Nazarene, the Cold Spring Presbyterian Church, and all our churches are truly the lighted beacons that we need, especially in these times throughout our township. I just want to thank the pastor, Reverend Doug Madden, right? And his wife Patty, and they were most gracious hosts over there, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I'm looking forward. I believe I'm going to be going to the Church of the Nazarene in about 2 months' time to attend one of their services. I may end up getting ordained if I get to enough churches here. But I thank you and congratulate them on behalf of all of council. And I want to thank our rec department for a couple items too that really were very successful. They had their basketball tournament, which ran through the holidays. And I think all of council, we popped in and out of there on occasion. And there were good crowds and good times. And the New Year's Eve celebration that they had, the family celebration over there, I heard a lot of people giving kudos to it and said that it was a very large crowd, and they were very thankful for the efforts that our rec department did towards that. So I want to give them a tip of the hat also. And I want to welcome our new solicitor on board, Mr. Ron, and I'm sure he'll do a great job. Okay, so we'll open up the public comments at this portion. If you have something, please step forward and tell us what town you're from and ask your question. Yes, sir.
Good evening and Happy New Year. Robert Rizzo, Nichols Run.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, would you have this gentleman stand up? He's a handsome looking man. Could he say 2 or 3 words?
We didn't hire him for his looks.
Let him say a few words anyway.
I wouldn't be getting the mere pittance that I get if that's the way it worked here.
My second comment is for you. You know, I read in the press, and I think everyone in this town should be well aware of the things you do, and you make less money than Jack Victor. What you have done
Rightfully
for
so.
this township, sir, don't interrupt me, please.
Okay, I won't.
What you have
He's
done
taking-
for this township is really a great thing, because you make our township proud. Maybe you need to make some of the money Mr. Victor's making, because you're all over the place helping us out and putting a good foot forward for our
Like
township.
all
I thank you
of
for that.
council, we love this town, and
Now have this gentleman introduce himself and say a few words.
feel free. See what I started?
Thank you, sir. My name is Ron Gilzowitz. I'm your new solicitor. I thank the mayor and the council for the opportunity. As Mr. Clark, Councilman Clark points out, the opportunity to serve the township and the interests of the township. I've had a fairly lengthy legal interaction with the township. I've worked for a former solicitor, and I've been your prosecutor for the past 3 years, and I don't recognize any faces in here, so that's okay. So, thank you once again. I'm looking forward to the opportunity.
Thank you. Close the public portion. I have a motion. Do we have something else?
Don wants to speak.
Yes, sir. I didn't see his hand.
Montgomery, 206 Vermont. I just want to thank you for allowing me to serve the township for 11 years.
You're welcome. We appreciate it, sir. Is that it?
I have something.
Okay. Close the
Good.
public. No, one more. Who's Somebody's got their hand up.
Yeah, I do. We forgot to thank Public Works for the good job they did the other day.
Oh, the snow, yes.
So good you forgot it was there.
You know, I didn't see the snow. No, actually, you did a fan. You know what made it so difficult was the ice that came just before the snow. And I know your people, we were down here, and I know you guys were out. And we do appreciate that, you know. Just don't plow me in, okay? No, you do a remarkable job. And we appreciate it, and thank you, okay? Thank you for reminding me of that, okay? I appreciate that. Do I have a motion?
Christmas tree pickups too, please.
Christmas tree pickups, yeah, you got that. You did a great job with that. Did they pick trees up?
No, get them out.
The trees have to get put out, that's what he was reminding.
Before the end of the 31st of
All right,
January.
put the trees out.
Take the ornaments
Gary
off.
can get your trees.
Take the lights off.
Take the lights off. Get the squirrel out of it. Okay, how about now? Motion?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.